Bombshell tonight in the Nolan Wells investigation. Tonight, a Nolan Wells phone evidence torpedo. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
All but, I believe, one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test.
At that meeting, a date was agreed upon, and then the family gets a letter, "We want the phone," and you have 24 hours to send it over. Think of a single sheet of paper sitting on a hotel room bed, hundreds of miles from home. A piece of paper that transforms a grieving family's attempt at cooperation into a public relations war. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Crime Files 9/11, because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. That is the central question of the Nolan Wells investigation, a case that is less about what happened on Horn Island and more about what happens when a death investigation collides with a letter. A letter that changed everything. On July 15, the attorney for the parents of Nolan Wells sat down with the Jackson County District Attorney's Office. The meeting was cordial. The topic was the phone, the one piece of digital evidence that could answer the most pressing question: what happened between 14:30 p.m. and the moment Nolan Wells was found dead on the beach? According to statements made by the family's representatives, the meeting ended with a consensus. The family was willing to hand over the phone. Their condition was not obstruction, it was transparency. They wanted a third party to be present, an independent examiner who could ensure that the extraction was done correctly and that the chain of custody was absolute. That was July 15, for nearly a month's silence. Then, the letter. It arrived while the family was out of state, attending a conference. The demand was simple: 24 hours. The family was told they had 1 day to produce the phone, 1 day to coordinate a forensic examination from across state lines, 1 day to comply or be painted as obstructionist. The letter was the lock.
Isn't that when the family had a meeting and said, yes, you can have the phone, but they want independent examiners there at the same time, right? Tell me, July 15, what happened?
July 15th, the attorney for the parents of Nolan met and said, yes, we want to give over the phone, but we want someone in the middle here, someone from the outside, an expert to analyze the phone. It appeared everyone agreed. Then all of a sudden they get a letter saying, we want the phone and you have 24 hours to send it over. The DA sent that. And the parents were out of town and said, wait, we don't have the time to do that. Hence the narrative that they're not cooperating. Now,
that sequence of events is the origin of the narrative that has defined this case. The idea that the family is not cooperating, that they are hiding something, that they are standing in the way of the investigation. But the facts are far more damning for the prosecution. The facts show a family that was willing to produce the phone on one condition: that the evidence be preserved and that the examination be witnessed. That is not the behavior of a cover-up. That is the behavior of a family that has seen evidence disappear before.
Remember? Ellen Greenberg stabbed, I think, 20 plus times, including the back of the head, the back of the neck, the back, actually severing the dura of her spinal cord. And the ruling was suicide. Okay, this is what I'm leading up to. So,
yes, ma'am.
All of the evidence was not documented at the scene. The police told, this is in Philly, told the apartment manager, sure, clean it up. As a matter of fact, here's a professional cleaner. Call them. They had it professionally cleaned. Bye-bye, evidence. Gone. Gone. Not only that, the apartment manager took a video of the inside of Ellen's apartment to show basically, look, this is how it was before, this is how it is after. We want to prove we didn't take anything. We didn't steal anything. Everything is accounted for. And that's SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. So when they didn't process the crime scene, they went, oh, thank goodness, at least we have the video. They handed the video over to Philly PD and they lost it.
The parallel narrative here is instructive. It is the story of Ellen Greenberg, a Philadelphia woman found dead in her apartment with 20 stab wounds and the ruling of suicide. In that case, the computer that could have contained the answers was removed from the scene. It was never examined. The crime scene was cleaned by professionals. The video that documented the scene was lost. So, when they didn't process the crime scene, they went, oh, thank goodness. At least we have the video. They handed the video over to Philadelphia PD and they lost it. The lesson of that case was not that investigators are malicious. The lesson is that evidence is fragile, it is vulnerable, and once it is gone forever. The Nolan Wells family knows this. They have seen what happens when a death investigation is deemed a non-crime. They have watched as the first autopsy was performed, and the second autopsy revealed an advanced state of decomposition. They have witnessed the slow erosion of the narrative from drowned to the investigation is ongoing.
But I was very disturbed, Greg, when I got wind that there is no criminal investigation. It's been said over and over and over. Why not? We don't know how he died. For instance, if he did have water in his lungs, okay, maybe he did drown. But how did he get in the water? Did he fall in the water? Was somebody, wrestling with him in the water and they held him down? They went, oh, my stars, I killed him and left. Did he hit his head?
Huh.
I mean, there's a lot more to it than saying, oh, yeah, he drowned. How can someone state there is no criminal investigation? I understand a grand jury is about to be convened. That doesn't mean there's a crime, but doesn't that suggest to you a grand jury inside the Superior Courthouse, inside the district attorney's office, would suggest there is a criminal investigation?
Well, it would potentially lead someone to believe that, yeah, a criminal investigation was undergoing. However, when we look at how this has played out over the last 6 weeks, how law enforcement has acted, they haven't seized Nolan Wells' phone at this point. In a criminal investigation, law enforcement's going to use those tools to get this information.
Are you
this could
sitting
just
down,
be a
Morris?
drowning. I'm sitting down, and this could just be a drowning. And that's why they're looking at it that way, because nothing's told them
it's you yet.
And now, they are being asked to hand over the last remaining piece of their son's life. The letter was the lock. The phone examination itself is a simple process. According to digital forensics expert Scott Aker, a former FBI cellular analysis survey team member, the procedure is straightforward. You connect the phone to a device like a Cellebrite, which copies the data without altering it. The text messages, the photos, the Snapchats, the deleted files, all of it can be pulled from the phone, provided you have the password.
As using this evidence in a criminal prosecution, perhaps, would it invalidate it since the state is not doing it? And what are you going to find? And how many hands are going to be on this phone at that given time?
Are you saying that if the defense did their own investigation of the phone and the state did not, would that negate the defense findings?
Yeah, because remember, we've got a grand jury that's going to be
let me tell
impaneled,
you,
allegedly.
HELLYES. Because the first thing, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would do is, isn't it true? I gave you the opportunity to review the phone. Isn't that true? On this date. And you didn't do it. So don't come complaining now. Oh, yeah, that would be a matter for cross-exam. You're on cross-examination. Who is our next sponsor? Well, here is a probative clue. Meow. Smalls makes fresh human-grade food designed for cats to thrive, while Big Pet Food uses cheap filler. Smalls features 80% animal protein and zero artificial junk. 88% of cat parents report better digestion, softer fur, and more energy for their cats to play. It's a healthy investment your cat will love. If you want to invest in your cat's health, Smalls is giving you 60% off your cat's first order. 60% off plus free shipping and free treats for life when you go to smalls.com/Nancy, SMALLS, smalls.com/Nancy. 60% off your first order, free shipping, and free treats for life when you head to smalls.com/Nancy. Thanks, Smalls, and thank you from our cat, Cinnamon. Joe Scott, Morse, everybody jump in if you've got a question for Scott Eicher. Let me tell you who Eicher is. Digital forensics expert, founding member of the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team, historical cellular analysis expert, former FBI, 22 years, former homicide, Norfolk, Virginia Police Department, works multiple cases, and currently with Precision Cellular Analysis. I could go on. Scott, tell me how this examination, you don't just pick up the phone and go, okay, I looked at it. What is a phone examination? How do I get evidence of potential snaps that were sent that day, texts, emails, photos taken during those critical hours. And important, how do I find out if anything was deleted? We've heard, yes, it's deleted. No, it wasn't deleted. The only way we're going to know is from a forensics exam. How do you do it? Now, take baby steps. Go ahead.
It's pretty easy nowadays. You get the physical phone itself. You hook it up to a device like the Cellbrite, which is one of the main producers of this type of software that can download phones. First of all, obviously, you have to have the password to the phone. If not, then you have to go through a lot of processes to get past the password and into the phone. But once you're into the phone, and this can be done with other people standing by, as you were talking about, another investigator for the defense or for the family or something like that being there, they can sit there and watch you download the phone. And basically, once you download a copy of what's on the phone, and you're not really messing with the evidence that's on the phone, you're not changing it, you're just copying it to another computer, and then you can start going through that data. You can look at all the text messages, and it'll even let you know which ones have been deleted. Now, of course, deleted means, it's
Put them up, please. Put them up, please. What do you see when you're looking for deleted? Do you see like you log on and you just see all this data, X's and O's and digits, and how do I tell something's been deleted? Explain that to me. I mean, unless it's in recently deleted, but even my twins at age 3 knew how to go into my phone and find recently deleted and delete it. How do you find it?
So it's actually just, on the computer screen, you're looking at all the lists of text messages, and it says right to the right of it, this one was deleted. So in an aspect, if it hadn't been overwritten, think about how computers work. You delete something, just like a phone, you delete something, it kind of takes it and moves it into a to an area you're not using. And then once, if the phone starts getting full, it starts writing over that deleted stuff. So things that were deleted at some point in time are still there and can be recovered. The actual texts of the text message, the content of the text messages is still there until it's getting written over by the phone.
Scott Eicher, has your company, Precision Cellular Analysis, performed these independent examinations of phones?
Yes, they have. We have a whole group of individuals in our company that just specialize in downloading phones, rebuilding phones that are damaged so that the data can be pulled from the phone, and breaking into the phones if we don't have the password.
What is Cellbrite and how is it used?
It's a program that's been around for a good amount of time, probably 15 years, and each year it gets more updated, but it's a program that actually goes into the phone and allows you to copy the information from the phone onto a different computer. And then you can look at that data and spend time going through it, get all the chronological information from text messages to pictures to Snapchat. So you can get a timeline from all these different areas of the phone.
What about a digital forensics go bag? A portable data collection rig. We saw it in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. It was used when the investigators went into the Guthrie family home. You see it on field operations, intelligence, digital forensics. They extract or they mirror digital info right there on location. A tactical exploitation kit like a forensics go bag.
Yes, those are available, and basically Cellbrite is that also. It's more for phones, but you can have the same type of device for computers and for other devices in the home. But Cellbrite is also a portable device that you can take to a crime scene, take to a house, or go to a individual's residence and do that download. It doesn't have to be done instantly.
The deleted texts are not truly gone. You delete something, it kind of takes it and moves it into a non-use area. And then once the phone starts getting full, it starts writing over that deleted stuff. So things that were deleted at some point in time are still there and can be recovered. The question is not whether the data can be extracted. The question is who is watching when the extraction happens. This is the moment where the narrative pivots from a procedural dispute to a deep national security anxiety. What are they so afraid of finding on that phone? The family is not asking to keep the phone. They are asking to observe.
According to the family, they have made the phone and their independent experts readily available.
The Jackson County DA's office, as well as our forensic team, and possibly the FBI, we're going to together download and examine the phone. So it's done one time with everybody together, right? This is very common in the law. This is what is supposed to happen. We're waiting for the DA to determine the time, the place, the date. Let us know, and we are going to be there with our forensics team and anybody else, but it's done one time, one examination. We're ready for it to happen.
From our friends at WLOX, that's Liza Park, working with Nolan's mother. To you, Susan Hendricks, now somehow it's made to look like the family, Nolan's family, is not cooperating. Let me understand what has happened. So Nolan's family went out of state. I don't know why. And while they were gone, they get a demand letter from the DA's office?
Yeah, that said you have 24 hours. And they were at the NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists Conference in Georgia. They spoke on stage and they said, wait a minute, we're not there. We can't do that. I thought we agreed on July 15th at that meeting that we would come together and do this. And now you're acting like we're not cooperating, but we are. So then they came back now, Nolan's family attorney saying, okay, any day this week, we need 24 hours notice and we'll make it happen. They're not hiding the phone. They just don't trust for the DA to have the phone alone.
So they are asking for a single examiner who is not beholden to the DA's office to witness the download. We have made the phone and our independent experts readily available. It is done one time with everybody together, right? This is very common in the law. This is what is supposed to happen. That is the standard. One examination, one chain of custody, one moment where the evidence is preserved for all parties. The DA's office rejected that offer. Instead of a collaborative investigation, they issued a unilateral demand, a demand that could not be fulfilled. The family was out of town. The 24-hour window was a trap. The letter was the lock. The implications are enormous. The DA's office has a grand jury convened, yet no criminal investigation has been announced. Law enforcement has not seized the phone through a warrant. They have not used the force of law to obtain it. Instead, they have relied on public pressure and a 24-hour demand letter. This suggests a reluctance to use the tools of criminal investigation.
Well, Nancy, this investigation, I'm putting air quotes in that because if you remember early on, it was a drowning, and no investigation had even been done. You realize he was missing. It wasn't like it was hours and they went back and he was missing for almost 2 days. And the family early on was not getting information that they felt like they should. All they're saying is, we want to be assured of the chain of custody, how the extraction on this phone is going to be performed, who would have access to the extracted data. That's important. Preservation of the evidence. And then, when is this phone going to be returned to us? This is the last thing they have of their son. And those things that I just mentioned, those were the items discussed on July 15th. And there was no follow-up after that until August 12th, when the DA's office, tells the family, well, you got 48 hours to turn the phone over, and they were out of town. So, yeah, there's a lot going on.
It suggests that the case is being handled as a public relations matter, not a forensic one. We have multiple witnesses, 2 confirmed witnesses who saw Nolan Wells on the island around 1600 p.m., well after the Trayton left.
We have had multiple witnesses reach out to us, 2 confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. on July 4th, well after the Triton, as you said, left around 4:30. And so those witnesses have went to investigators, they've talked to the police, and they've done what they're supposed to do. These witnesses know Nolan. They've known him for a long time. They were able to make a positive ID.
They were able to make a positive ID, and they told that to investigators. They told them that from the very start. The boat's GPS records show the Triton leaving at 40:30. If the witnesses are credible, Nolan was on the island for at least an hour and a half after his friends left. That changes the timeline. That introduces other possibilities. That raises questions that cannot be answered without the phone. The phone would show who he was talking to, what he was meeting, what he was planning. The phone would show if he was afraid. The phone would show if he was alone. The forensic team is ready. The family has been publicly outspoken since August, telling the courts that all they need is a date and time. We are waiting for the DA to determine the time, the place, the date. Let us know, and we are going to be there with our forensics team and anybody else. That is the statement from the family's attorney. There is no ambiguity. There is no request for a delay. There is a standing offer. The DA has not responded to the public offer as of this recording. The investigation continues, but the evidence remains locked in a phone. The witnesses have been identified. The second autopsy has been performed. The boat's GPS data is secure. Everything is ready for the moment that single phone is examined. It is the key. The letter was the lock. The last remaining question is not about Nolan Wells or his death. It is about what happens when the system is asked to investigate itself. The DA has a chance to be transparent. They have the opportunity to conduct a joint examination and end the debate over the evidence. If they want to solve this case, the answer is simple. Examine the phone together with the family and see what it says. If they do not, the narrative remains. The letter was the lock, and the evidence is already buried.
Nolan's family is not cooperating. Let me understand what has happened. So Nolan's family went out of state. I don't know why. And while they were gone, they get a demand letter from the DA's office?
Yeah, that said you have 24 hours. And they were at the NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists Conference in Georgia. They spoke on stage and they said, wait a minute, we're not there. We can't do that. I thought we agreed on July 15th at that meeting that we would come together and do this. And now you're acting like we're not cooperating, but we are. So then they came back now, Nolan's family attorney saying, okay, any day this week, we need 24 hours notice and we'll make it happen. They're not hiding the phone. They just don't trust for the DA to have the phone alone without an independent investigation into the phone, someone who's not biased.
And, you know, Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, the family is afraid. Many people have seen injustice in other cases that have nothing to do with them. And I believe they fear evidence will be destroyed or mishandled, and it can never be recaptured. It's very possible.
The call to action is not rhetorical. There is a specific document that should be looked at. The letter from the Jackson County DA's office, dated August 12, demanding the phone within 24 hours. It is a public record. Ask yourself, why was the deadline so short? Why could there be no negotiation? Why was the family given a choice between compliance and suspicion? Go find the letter. Read it. And then, in the comments, tell us one thing. Who benefits from an untested phone? If you believe the evidence should speak for itself, like this video, share it with someone who needs to see the truth, subscribe to Crime Files 911, and turn on notifications so you never miss when we expose the gap between the official statement and the actual evidence.